Ladies and gentlemen, RosterWatch Nation, welcome back to the epic RosterWatch Podcast, brought to you by RosterWatch.com. My name is Alex Dunlap here with the Trashman, who's fresh home. And boy, does it ever always feel good to be home from College Station, Texas. The Trashman, what the hell's going on, brother?
Yeah, just, taking a few showers to get the stink off.
you need more than a few sometimes. You weren't there long enough to go and get a Freebird's burrito or chicken at Lane's or anything like that, right? Some of the good things that Texas A&M and Aggie Land has to offer.
No, I was in the pro day for 3 hours.
All right. Well, let's talk about pro day real quick. What's up to Joey 2 times, Cody Carpentier in the chat. I wasn't calling Cody Carpentier Joey 2 times. Those are 2 separate people. All right. So we'll get started and we'll talk. So we have some Dynasty rankings updates we want to talk about. Also, we will talk about the Tyreek Hill trade. I think that those two kind of go together because there's some Dynasty fallout for that. Trashman, of course, in charge of the Dynasty rankings. Have you put any updates in? So, have you been updating this stuff in real time? Or are you waiting till we talk it over?
Yeah, I've been changing the teams, but I haven't been making a lot of movements yet.
Okay. Well, we need to get those updated because I see that there are people here in the sheet right now. And we'll talk about it. But let's start out by talking about Isaiah Spiller's pro day. Officially, you had him at a 4.59. He ended up, and nobody believed you because it was so slow.
I had a 4.59 for the first heat. For the second one, I actually clocked him like a 4.54.
Okay, well, regardless, the scouts had him slower than you did, and those weren't very good times. The
guy next, interesting enough, the guy next to me, he had a 4.5 flat.
Well, was he an Aggie?
He was.
Yeah. So the scouts, according to James Slater, had him at 4.63. Is what the consensus time for him was.
That's so me. I don't know, just.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they said.
I get it.
That's what NFL teams are going by. That's what we're going to go by. We're going to go by 4.63, which basically, I was texting with our friend Cody in the chat and our friend Matt Kelly, and I said, honestly, man, that sounds like an Isaiah Singletary to me. Like it's that kind of performance because he did have, what was it, a 30-inch vertical at the combine, 33. But he improved to 33. I saw that he had. Did you see him do a 3-cone?
Yeah,
you did.
Mean, kind of. I mean, it was the visibility was not good
for that one.
From the press. I mean, he's quick. He looked quick.
He wasn't quick in the short shuttle, and it doesn't really go with his game. And you and I haven't done our official evaluations on running backs yet. We'll be starting those this week as we finish up the last of the wide receivers.
He's one of the sweetest kids I've met.
Well, I'm sure he's super. I'm super.
I'm rooting for him.
All these guys are super. Why is all these Aggies always love you, Trash Man? Mike Evans.
They don't know him a Longhorn.
Josh Reynolds. Your boy Christian Kirk.
My boy Mike Evans.
Yeah, but anyway, so basically, we know that he jumped badly at the pro day. Still, 33 and. I mean, if we just look at versus this year's combine, 33.5 is, bottom, 6 or 7 when I was looking at it earlier. And then, of course, this combine, nobody ran their agility stuff, but if, he had to report at 4.43 in the short shuttle. So if we just compare that to, say, the 2020 combine, the last one we had where people actually ran the short shuttle, let me just look here through the shuttle. In 2021, where do you think he would have fallen in 2021 with that 4.43, Trash Man?
Maybe in the back third.
He would have been second worst behind only Scotty Phillips.
Wow.
So it's like, that's like, so bad jumps, bad agility testing, slow straight line speed, not, the best production at the college, at the college level. I know that people like his tape and everything. I think his tape is fine myself, but if we're talking about a dude who we're looking at is like I mean, he's going in the first. I mean, I don't know where he's going in in any of the rookie drafts you've done, Trashman, but I've certainly seen him go in the top 4 in that rookie mock. We did the Roto Underworld. I think he went 4.
It's funny. I've seen a lot of variability in these running backs.
Okay. But still, I think what people really like about CJ Spiller is the fact that he did catch 25 footballs. That was good for 12% market.
Spiller?
I'm sorry, Isaiah Spiller. Isaiah. He was, he was good in the receiving game. 12% market share of the receptions last year. So when he was used, that's the way that they'd like to use him. And if you listen to guys like Kyle Krabs that was just on the podcast this week, that's not so much about that they can catch. It's about the fact that they were trusted by their coaches in pass protection and being in those situations. So I certainly get it, but man, tough day for him. Bad all around as far as his testing. Cody's asking in the chat if he's like, if the pro day was outside, no, that pro day is not inside. That's inside. What is that thing called? Gilchrist or something?
Coolidge?
Cool. Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
I don't even know. Gilbert H. Coolidge School of Animal Husbandry or whatever the hell they do there. But so look, it's just for Isaiah Spiller. We're going to have to take this into his evaluation. And when you see our rookie rankings, you'll know it's like I could do some back of the napkin stuff and tell you it's going to be interesting to see where he sort of falls. And if he does fall sort of top 5, where guys like Rashad White and some of these others that have been risers for us through the process kind of come into play. Zamir White, a guy that I've been kind of liking more since I've been watching more of him. I know that there's some big guys that like Dalvin's brother James Cook. So it's going to be interesting to see how this sort of falls with Isaiah Spiller. But just all around, I just wanted to lay out kind of what it was we saw. 4.63, bad short shuttle, a vertical that he didn't do much to improve on. I believe he stood on the combine worst broad jump. Is that correct, Trashman? Did he not broad jump? I believe he stood on that. I think that was a 9'6" that he stood on. Is that correct? And let me make sure that was indeed correct here. So the broad jump, Spiller. I should have had this stuff pulled up knowing that we were about to do a podcast on him, but I just knew it was basically bad. Okay, so yeah, Isaiah Spiller with the worst broad jump at this year's combine. He stood on that. To put in context how bad the 4.43 short shuttle was as far as a home, as far as a home cooked hand time. I mean, James Robinson in that same combine where we can reference, James Robinson weighed 219 pounds at his combine. He ran his in 4.19. Do you remember Tony Jones or Jonathan Taylor at 226 ran his in 4.24? Shewo Olanalua from TCU was 232 pounds in the combine. People weren't sure if he was going to be a fullback. I'm still not sure what Shewo is.
I will say this.
He ran a 4.28.
And just watching him like do some of his like stretching, working out on the side, though, it did look to me like something was up with one of his legs.
Well, that's what he's claiming after the disastrous performance. Was he
claiming that? Because I noticed it. I haven't heard about that, but I noticed that it looked like he was favoring one leg over the other when he was doing some of his just workouts on the side. So that's interesting.
Anything about his on-field stuff, or just tell us about the day? I mean, there was also the Weidermeyer, the tight end, just came in and he really
low too.
Yeah, man,
I think he had like a
5.03,
5.08, or is it 0.03?
5.03, and just that's not gonna get it done for a guy that everybody thought was like a pass catching weapon.
Yeah. There was another kid out of, I guess, Florida International, Caleb Egan, wide receiver. I don't know. I guess he had played at A&M before moving to Florida International. Small guy, I guess, kick return specialist, but he was super slow too. He was slower than Spiller.
Leon slow Neal ran slow as expected. He's been slow ever since his high school days. What about Cody's asking in the comments. So if he's claiming that he was hurt with an injury, he said he injured his hamstring at the combine. So if Isaiah Spiller did injure his hamstring at the combine, if that's true, how did he look in his drills? Did he look hurt in drills?
I mean,
because he can't have it both ways.
He only looked hurt whenever he wasn't running, if he he was like practicing on the side, jumping, like stretching out, doing little agility kind of drills. And you could tell he was favoring a leg. I mean, during those.
Are you going to forgive his pro day numbers to some degree, based not on the fact that you like him, you think he's a sweet kid, but based on the fact that you really think he was hurt?
I'll just say I noticed something was up with the way he was walking and moving around, and I didn't know about the injury. So, I mean, I think maybe you have to take into account that a little bit.
Okay. Well, look, man, I think that
slightly.
I think that it's going to be a hard deal for me. I think that this was one of the things that everybody was most kind of looking forward to with the rest of the pro days. This was the key piece of information that we needed for fantasy, right? Was what was Isaiah Spiller going to run? I think people were expecting maybe he put up like a Rashad, White kind of time right there for the precipice of 4.5. And here's the other thing. Maybe these guys, Lance Zierlein had a good tweet. He's like, man, with this new Indy turf, people just need to start running in Indy. You're not going to get better home cooking at home than these 4.26s and stuff, the unofficial that these guys are running there in Indy. So I think that the days of doing your shuttles and your agility and stuff are over for a different reason, simply because if they keep this stupid thing where they have to do media, they have to do scouting interviews, then they have to do bench, and then they have to do agility and then on-field testing and 40 and all that stuff the same day. These guys aren't going to do everything. They're going to sit out of something, and it felt like all the running backs just sat out of agility this time. I think for the straight line.
And like I said, I did time both of Spiller's runs, and there was another guy. He actually commented on Twitter. He got a 4.61 on the first heat, where I got a 4.59. And I will say that Spiller improved. I mean, just from the eye test, he improved on the second heat. So the 4.62 to me, it's dubious.
It's just, I mean, that's the consensus from scouts. I mean, that came from a few different reporters who were, NFL affiliated. So I think it's what we have to go.
There's some scuttlebutt there too, because I was looking on Twitter too, and it's just from one scout, 4.62, and then that turns into the scouts.
Are you denying that he's a 4.6? Are you saying he's 4.5? 4.55?
I believe he's faster than a 4.6.
All right. Well, I mean, okay. It's like we can only go by what we go by, and I think we need to go by the official stuff that everybody else is going by, and not go completely rogue on the whole Isaiah Spiller Island.
Why are we going then if we're doing what everybody else is doing?
Well, because the Trashman, at some point you have to account for the consensus. I mean, at some point it's just like we live in a society where there are rules.
Where was the consensus? First I hear just one scout said 4.62, and then all the scouts are saying 4.62. I mean, is that just conjecture based off of Twitter or what?
No, that was from Jane Slater, who reports for NFL.com, saying that because you know how these pro days go. When the scouts come in there, they all come together at the end of the pro day, and they all go over all their numbers, and they come to their consensus that everybody uses. And of course, the teams keep their own numbers as well. And a lot of times these teams value their own numbers more than consensus. Some teams value the consensus more than their own numbers. They believe in the value of crowds. But it's like Jane Slater didn't just talk to a scout. She talked to a scout about what the consensus was among scouts, which was the same thing that I believe Zierlein did, who I believe was also there. He was tweeting as if he was there. Did you see Lance there? You met Lance at the combine. You know what he looks like.
I think I did see him, but I didn't see him till later.
Okay. Well, regardless, man, disappointing day for Isaiah Spiller all around. And you guys will be able to find our analysis of him here on the podcast and the YouTube channel, of course, over at rosterwatch.com with the pro membership, where we'll have the running back evaluations coming out fast and furious starting this week, unlike Isaiah Spiller, right? All right. let's talk about the Tyreek Hill trade. So the Dolphins have acquired Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs. He's going to get a massive $52.5 million at signing per Pro Football Talk. He's then guaranteed $72.2 million over the course of the over the 3-year deal, I'm sorry, the 4-year deal. He'll be guaranteed $72.2 million at the start of the new league year in 2023. Rosenhaus is saying that it's a 4-year deal for $120 million. So clearly, with Devonta Adams, Tyreek Hill, these guys just completely resetting the wide receiver market. Let's just talk about what it means for Tyreek Hill. I was so weird on the best ball cheat sheet having to put an MIA next to Tyreek Hill's name. Do
they now have the 2 fastest receivers in the NFL?
So I think and here's the thing, Tua, if they're trying to say that Tua is going to get them the football down the field and this is going to open up his downfield passing, I don't feel
think that's the case. I think it's going to be a short game that they're just going to have to do a lot with it after the catch.
Well, certainly Jalen Waddle operated that way last year, and he was really, really productive. I wonder, Tyreek Hill, is Jalen Waddle the big loser in this?
No.
Why?
Because all the teams are going to put their coverage over to Tyreek Hill. It's going to be soft coverage on
Is
Waddle.
Tyreek Hill the biggest loser in this? Not money notwithstanding.
I don't know. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is. I don't know.
Okay. But Tyreek Hill needs to be moved down in the rankings, right? He doesn't have Patrick Mahomes throwing the football anymore.
Yeah.
And he has the presence of Jalen Waddle, a player of which he had nothing like in Kansas City to be taking targets away. Of course, Cedric Wilson might be the big loser.
Oh, right.
Golly. Cedric Wilson is a guy who talk about who knows, defenses aren't paying attention. Cedric Wilson could be getting open. I don't trust Tua though. You know what I mean? I don't trust Tua. I think this thing stinks.
It definitely stinks.
So I think Tyreek Hill needs to be moved down. If you want to just look at the dynasty sheet and just talk about where he needs to be moved down as far as the ranks. He's 28 years old. I think now he definitely needs to go below Deebo Samuel, who's going to be 26 this year. I think maybe, does he need to go below DK Metcalf, who might have a bad quarterback for a year?
No. Maybe.
It's Tua. How soon are they going to pivot to somebody new? How soon is your boy McDaniel going to pivot to a new quarterback?
If there is one player who doesn't rely on the quarterback for the bulk of his yardage, or he can create yardage for himself, it's Tyreek Hill.
How do you know?
We've seen it.
When?
We've seen it whenever he's worked in space. Is there more
with who throwing him the ball?
Is there a more evasive player?
No, I get it, but I'm just saying it's like we can't really say that. We have very little sample of Tyreek Hill.
Who would you say is a more elusive receiver in the open field?
Well, clearly, Trashman. He's one of the most elusive receivers that we've seen. I'm just saying we can say that a guy like Allen Robinson can overcome bad quarterback play because we've seen that.
Kind of.
Well, but do you understand that? Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? So
yes.
If you would have asked me, yes, he's one of the most elusive receivers in the league, and therefore we think that he can overcome bad quarterback play
before Patrick Mahomes in KC.
Well, everybody knows what happened with the ascension with the ascension of Patrick Mahomes, and the fact of the matter is during that season wasn't it? I forget what it was, but wasn't Smith one of the most efficient quarterback, like from just a pure efficiency standpoint? He had one of his best seasons that there was, a career renaissance. So I mean, look,
but he's not a downfield thrower.
I understand, Trash Man. That's not the point. The point is I'm calling you a donkey for not phrasing it correctly. You should have said who's more elusive in space. And I said, good point, Trash Man. What you said is we've seen he's the kind of guy who doesn't need a good quarterback to be able to operate. I said, well, that's not true. We haven't seen that. We have seen that he's elusive.
I don't see Alex Smith getting to the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
Look, man, I can't believe you're such a disgusting piece of trash. All right. What about Juju? We got to move up Juju in the rankings.
Yeah,
Juju is still young, dude. He's gonna be the number one. He's gonna be the number one option for. I mean, it's exciting. The question for me is how high can Juju move at 26 years old? I mean, I feel like, dude, he's got to be above guys like. I mean, he's got to be a huge mover. He's got to be above guys like Rashad Bateman and Rondale Moore. I think Chris Godwin's probably a little bit low here, considering I know that we kind of play for next year, but like, I think he needs to be up here. Like, golly, you have Gabriel Davis so high, trash man.
Well, he's gonna get sick.
Are you taking notes on this? You got to move Gabriel Davis down. I know you love him, but that's too high. To have him above Amon-Ra St. Brown is just criminal. We can't have that. That's
really?
That's very bad.
Why?
Because do I really need
St. Brown still has Jared Goff throwing the ball to him.
And last I checked, Stephon fucking Diggs is still with the still with the Bills. And last I checked, Jamison Crowder just signed with the Bills. And I understand all the lip service that you got about the Buffalo Bills at the combine, and you bought into every bit of this Gabriel Davis stuff. How he's a locker room leader, yada yada yada. We can't buy into it this much. I mean, at the very, very most, he's got to be there in that same, in the like Rashad Bateman territory. So can you make a note of that, please? Like, move Gabriel Davis is too. This is embarrassing. We're probably 20 spots ahead of consensus on Gabriel Davis, and I know you hate consensus, but Jesus Christ, trash man! Like, let's move him down. Let's get Juju up to this. Let's get Juju up to that Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy area. That's where he needs to be. Cody Carpentier says that Roto Wonderworld has Gabe Davis at 45. Wide receiver 45. But they only have Amon-Ra St. Brown at what, 39, where we have Amon-Ra St. Brown top 20. So there's a little bit of a difference there. A good difference there. I'd like to see who all do you guys have? Who all does Cody have ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown? Man, that's wild. Okay, so let's get Juju. Basically, he needs to be a top 24-ish dynasty wide receiver. He's still young, and he's gonna be the number one option for Patrick Mahomes. I think that's the biggest storyline out of this whole thing. I know that they're talking about bringing MVS down. MVS said that he's going to MVS's agent's going down there to act like he could take over for Tyreek Hill, which is something. Okay, Leonard Fournette signed a new deal. He's going to be with the Bucs. Who knows how long it's going to be with Tom Brady? And we know that the offensive line has been somewhat degraded. They had one guy. They had Kappa went on to the Bengals. Ali Marpet retired. Yeah. I don't know. They're going to need to see if they can bring him back. I'll bet you that Tom Brady might make a Rob Gronkowski kind of call to him. You think?
Would have passed him.
Yeah.
Back together.
But Leonard Fournette he's 27. He needs to be moved up because at this point, can you really think to yourself, do you really have any conviction by choosing between, at this point, Leonard Fournette and Ezekiel Elliott? They're the same age.
Well, isn't Elliott free agent next year?
Oh no, no? I believe that what you're thinking of is I think they can get out of that starting as early as, let me see, I'll just pull up his contract. But see, Trashman, these are all if you're in charge of the dynasty rankings, these are things you should know. I should be asking you, why is he so high? Why do we? And you should tell me, because he signed a 6-year $90 million deal. But I think what you're thinking is in 2023 they could possibly get out. But even still, man, that year he's going to carry a $16.7 million cap hit with 11.8 debt associated. I think the first year that they can legitimately get out of Ezekiel Elliott's contract will be 2024. Because that'll be a year.
Fournette, I think we can get him I think we can get him right behind Elliott.
That's fine. Just get him right up there in the Ezekiel Elliott territory. I think that works. Let's just get him up there right around Ezekiel Elliott. And as I'm looking at this area too, Trash Man, I know Aaron Jones is old at 28 years old, but as we sort of pivot, let's talk a little bit about the Devonta Adams deal. Devonta Adams to the Raiders. I think that hurts Devonta Adams. I moved him down definitely on the best ball cheat sheet.
Back with his college quarterback.
I don't get it. I don't care. He loses the Aaron Rodgers, Devonta Adams connection. It's like it really does. It really does hurt him. He's not gonna get targeted down on the 1-inch line every time, on these little corner throws to the front pylon that Aaron Rodgers would throw to him, acting like he didn't want to give it to his running back. So Devonta Adams needs to be moved down. But before we talk about him, I just think we'll talk about Aaron Jones. Does he need to get moved up, or it seems like we're in a pretty good spot with him as it is?
I think
we're in a pretty good spot.
I think maybe it's Robert Tonyan who we move up.
Okay. Now Robert Tonyan that's a guy who did re-sign.
He did.
So okay, that's fine. So can you make a note about Tonyan? Are you making notes about this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you say most importantly about Gabe Davis?
What do you?
You didn't make a Gabriel Davis note?
Yes, I made a Gabriel Davis note.
Get him down! Down!
Just that he's too high.
Put 3 exclamation points after it. Just so you don't remember and don't forget. Aaron Jones, I think he's probably good there. Let's get Leonard Fournette up though into Ezekiel Elliott territory. I mean, at this point,
we got to get Vaughn down then.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn, throw him down to the dumpster, dude. That's something that you can handle that kind of dumpster. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn is relegated back to the trash heap. Hope you didn't go out trading for him with hopes that he was going to go bananas this year. I mean, bringing Fournette back. I mean, talk about a Keyshawn Vaughn killer. That's just no good for him. Adams himself, let's look at the wide receiver rankings and see where we have Devonta Adams and see what you want to do there. So Waddle, of course, moves down. Does Waddle move down? He's young, but he just needs to move. I don't care what you say about opening things up. It's like, I don't care. It's like, it's the pure number of targets. Like, he's not going to get these 13 target games anymore with Tyreek Hill there. He just isn't.
Well,
he just needs to be moved down.
Down to, I mean, I would say maybe down to around.
He needs to be moved down to like a quarter. He needs to be moved down to like a really good player with a shitty quarterback that has a little bit of target competition, like DJ Moore.
That's fine.
He needs to be moved down kind of that area. He's 2 years younger than DJ Moore, but I think he needs to be right there around DJ Moore territory. Okay. Looking at some of this other stuff, Devonta Adams, I keep bringing it right back up. I mean, we were a little bit low on him just because he's 30 years old. But look, at this point, I don't know, man. I mean, he's 30, but he's going to be with those guys for another 2 to 3 years, if you believe the contract numbers, and we probably should based on the guarantees. So maybe Devonta Adams just kind of stays where he is. It feels like him and Cooper Kupp are both getting to 29, 30 years old. But maybe
Adams and Kupp are about the same age.
At this point, do you like? So Cody Carpentier is saying in Twitter, and shout out to everybody here on Twitter, man. Tony Beavers, he says, "Gig 'em." Tony, I'm glad you missed the recap of the Texas A&M Pro Day. Cody says he has Waddle at 12, McLaurin at 13, Hill now at 14, and Adams at 15. I don't want to move Devonta Adams down to 15. But I think maybe Elijah Moore can go ahead of. I mean, Elijah Moore's only 22 years old. I think I'd rather have Elijah Moore in Dynasty right now. Wouldn't you?
Because that puts Adams right there with Deontay Johnson, who also has a crappy quarterback. Well, who has a worse quarterback than Adams?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's like he's in more of a DJ Moore tier. T. Higgins, who has a Jamar Chase problem. I think that's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. What about the Matt Ryan stuff and the? I mean,
I think Pittman gets a bump.
Who?
I think Pittman gets a bump.
Really? Because I thought no matter who comes in, with the fact how much Carson Wentz just loved Michael Pittman, I think that losing Carson Wentz was going to be bad for him no matter what.
I mean, but like Matt Ryan, he's the kind of guy to zero in on his top receiver too.
I think maybe things just stay the same for Pittman. If you want to move him up a little bit, you can. I mean, I love Michael Pittman.
I mean, I
feel like we're high on Pittman anyway.
A better quarterback than Wentz.
Hey, dude, I'm just looking at this. We need to move Sutton up. I think. Can you make a note? Just move up Cortland Sutton. Just find a way to get him up. Get him up a little bit. Okay. I mean, he's got Russell Wilson throwing him the football now.
I mean, but you want him over. I mean, like Mike Evans is just a couple spots above him. I mean, and he's got Tom back.
I might get
Cortland Sutton's only a couple years younger than Evans too.
I don't know. I think maybe some of the. I think I do. I don't know. I mean, how much do I really love guys like Chase Claypool and Brandon Ayuk?
Chase Clay right now.
It's like Ayuk's getting squeezed, man. He's getting squeezed big time. Everybody in that offense is getting cucked by Deebo Samuel, even the running backs. I mean, I think that let's move down Ayuk. Let's move down Ayuk. Let's move down Chase Claypool, who, I mean, Mitch Trubisky throwing him the football. Yeah. And let's get these 28-year-olds, these 27, 28-year-olds, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton and Amari Cooper now. And we need to change the team name here for Amari Cooper. I'll change it for you. You missed that one, trash man. Amari Cooper to Cleveland. So make sure to get those changed. Let's get Amari up because Desean Watson, I mean, clearly, like that, this thing's going to go ham for probably a year or two.
I'm just rejecting the Amari Cooper move.
So you're just keeping him a Cowboy in our dynasty rankings.
There's some cognitive dissonance there.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, so the Desean Watson stuff. I mean, we always said once we know what's going to happen with him, we'll then address him in the dynasty rankings. I mean, Jesus Christ! Of course, we have Desean Watson now above. I mean, he needs to be above Dak, right?
Yeah,
let's move him above Dak. And I think that's probably. Do you go a bridge too far and say above them? You can't put him above Lamar Jackson or Joey B or any of these other guys, right? That we just love in Dynasty. I don't think. The other thing about Desean Watson is he could be out for the first couple, maybe the first 6 weeks of next season.
That's true.
They're going to give him 6 weeks for all this stuff he's accused of.
I don't know, man. You don't think Desean Watson could go over Joe Burrow or a Kyler Murray potentially?
You can put him over Burrow. It's fine. Put him over Burrow. That's fine, dude. It's Desean Watson.
I know, and Kyler Murray too. I mean,
and he finally has a good offense. He finally has a good offensive line.
Could implode.
Yeah, Desean Watson could implode.
Like physically? I mean, are we talking about just with the situation?
Situationally, and the thing is about Kyler Murray, Desean Watson does not have his wheels, and like we have to remember that this is fantasy.
No, Desean Watson is on top of his game. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I would put him up against. I would put him. I mean, I could argue putting him right behind Josh Allen.
Well, here's the thing: Josh Allen probably needs to be ahead of Patrick Mahomes at this point.
You could argue that.
I mean,
well, yeah, with Hill gone.
Yeah, it makes all the sense. It makes all the sense in the world. Josh Allen is a much better rusher. He's a prolific passer. At this point, he's got better weapons.
I mean, I could do that.
So it's like, I mean, we need to move Josh Allen to the top. You know, maybe that's not going to. I don't think that's even going to be controversial. I haven't thought about it until just now, but like, we need to do that.
Is Watson better than Mahomes then at this point as far as situation?
No, man. It's still Patty Mahomes, man. But I think you're right, dude. I think that Desean Watson. I think he can move. I think we could be aggressive on Watson. I love Desean Watson. Well, I as a football player. Okay. What about the Atlanta stuff? Do we even need to? I mean, Mariota, clearly we need to kind of add him into these, at least for the super flex consideration. Man.
How bad is it that like somebody wants to take Mariota over the Jimmy G?
Did you just call him did you just call him Mariotti? Like
as a Mariota?
I think it is at his draft. Roger Goodell called him like Jay Mariotti or something like that. The old dude from like Around the Horn or Pardon the Interruption or whatever. Look, Mariota belongs above. I mean, he belongs above Drew Lock. Okay. Move Baker Mayfield down in these rankings. Can you make that a note, please? Yeah. He's a free agent that nobody even wants to trade. Well, not a free agent, but he could end up being cut.
Take the contract on.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah, nobody wants him. Mariota needs to come up because he's coming into play in Superflex. I think Derek Carr probably on these rankings probably needs to go up just a little bit if you can. I mean, he'll go up by virtue of the Baker Mayfield stuff, but certainly having Devonta Adams is gonna help him.
So you like him more than Kirk Cousins now? I mean, Cousins is 3 years older.
No.
3 years older.
No, but Cousins is a consistently kind of good fantasy quarterback. You just wouldn't know because you can't stomach putting him in your lineups.
Well, I won't put him in for the first 5 games of the season.
I can't believe that you're still going by this. Kirk Cousins gets off to a slow start routine. Okay, what about Alvin Kamara? I just wanted to talk to you about him because what me and Byron are talking about, I don't know how much. I just know in best ball, are people not considering the fact that he punched that dude out and just really knocked the shit out of him in Las Vegas, and we've just forgotten about this? Because I know for best ball, it's going to matter next year. I mean, people are just forgetting the fact he's going to miss. He's going to miss 6 games. I mean, Calvin really has to miss the season for gambling on putting in some parlays down in Florida on his iPhone.
For his team to win.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You have Christian McCaffrey behind Alvin Kamara in Dynasty. I think that's wrong to begin with. I've told you how much I think that's wrong. Please get McCaffrey above Kamara in these rankings that have my company's name on them. Please. Let's move Kamara down and maybe move him down more. I mean, how do you feel about that? How does that affect your overall value of him rest of career if he's going to miss, potentially up to 1/3 to maybe at most half of next season? It's another season with Jameis. It's another season before they go to truly a new. I guess it's kind of new anyway. No Sean Payton and everything.
The thing is, you could move him down a lot based on that.
Yeah, I think he can be moved down a good bit, man. So just do what you want with Kamara. Don't get too crazy. I think that we wouldn't be taking the. I don't think we would be taking the. Those guys like those Zeke Elliott's and Fournette or anything ahead of him. I don't think. Right now,
well, I mean, that's about where I was thinking about moving him down to. I mean, but that's 10 spots down from where he is now.
Well, I know that you probably were taking that into account. It's the same way that it doesn't. Byron and I said it seems like nobody's taking it into account. People aren't. It's like we've memory holed the whole thing. The Pro Bowl.
Don't know exactly what's going to happen yet.
Well, right, but he got a fight at the Pro Bowl. It was a high. The TMZ was there. They took. I mean, did you see pictures of the guy's face?
No.
Well,
that's not how I get my kicks.
That's why you don't remember. That guy still remembers. He's never gonna forget the name.
He probably doesn't remember anything that happened.
You're right. You're right. Okay, and then finally, you want to take your completely undeserved and trashy victory. I mean, this is an undeserved victory lap that you're about to take. But go ahead and take it, Antonio Gibson. We thought J.D. McKissick was going to the Bills, and now you know we do know that. Look, your Bills lie to you, trash man, because they lied to you about Gabriel Davis, and they lied to you about the fact that they think that Devin Singletary's role in the passing game can grow, because they showed us what they had J.D. McKissick dead to rights, and they were bringing him in, and then whenever he gets a match with Washington, they let him off the hook. So we know that they lie about Devin Singletary. So get him moved down. Go ahead and take your victory lap about Antonio Gibson and the fact that this is always going to be a committee, no matter what. Be it Jared Patterson, be it some dick off the street. It just never mattered to you. It was always,
committee.
It's just always going to come back to a committee.
Always. I mean, if he's playing with a broken shin half the season, yeah.
Trash man, you can't keep using that broken shin. He only missed one game last season,
but he's playing
through it.
He was playing with it. I said he played with it.
Yeah, I mean, don't
but he's only a shin splint away.
I gotta get